I don't know if Sean McVay was doing his buddy Kyle Shanahan a favor. I don't know if the football gods finally decided to smile on the 49ers. What I do know is the Niners have stolen a victory on Thursday Night Football. Let's talk about it on the Instant Reaction Show. What is good, everybody? Welcome to the Gold Standard 49ers Instant Reaction Show. What the hell just happened? I still don't even know if what I just witnessed was real. I cannot believe that game. The San Francisco 49ers go into Los Angeles with no Brock Purdy, no Brandon Ayuk, no Ricky Pearsall, no Juwan Jennings, no George Kittle, no Nick Bosa. But they come away with the 26-23 win in overtime. One of the grittiest, gutsiest performances by Kyle Shanahan's team than I have ever seen in my life. I cannot believe they just did that. I can't believe. First of all, let's just start with the call on fourth down in overtime. Sean McVay, it's fourth and short, and Sean McVay decides to run the football? Let's welcome in Levin Black. Levin, I'm starting right at the end with overtime. Sean McVay wants to go for it, fourth down. Totally agree, have no problem with that. What the hell was that run call? You take the ball out of Matthew Stafford's hands. He did the 49ers a favor. And how about Alfred Collins and Michael Williams blocking it up so that Siegel can make the play?
I'm starting somewhere else. Cheers, my friend.
Yes. I mean, look, I've never been happier to be wrong. I thought the 49ers were going to get their doors blown off in this one. How about the last possessions for the defense in that game? The Rams are about to go in and score, and Alfred Collins, another rookie, forces a fumble and recovers a fumble at the 1 yard line. Then Kyle totally gives up on the next possession to give the ball back to the Rams. The Niners hold them to a field goal, and then obviously hold them again in overtime. Even without their best player, the defense stood up when they had to multiple times in this game.
Thank God for a mini bye, because the Niners need it more than any team in NFL history has ever needed one.
I mean,
I have no idea who's going to suit up for quarterback. It's going to be whichever one can walk with less of a limp. But this win is huge because it gives them the room for error. Like you were saying, if they just win one of the next two, they're 4-2 and they can start getting healthy. They'll have Kittle back, things like that. They can start maybe trying to get the ball running on having a real offense, maybe get the run game fixed. Well, they won the one game. So next week, you want to win it in 10 days, but if you lose it, you're already playing with house money now. It's like being up $600 and you wanted to leave with $500. So you bet that last 100, but you're keeping the 500. That's where the Niners are at right now.
Yep. It is found money at this point. They are 4-1 on the year. They are 3-0 in the NFC West. They're guaranteed to split with every team in the division if they don't win another division game the rest of the year. That is massive. This is a massive win for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. And how about if I was a Rams fan, I would be furious right now, but I'm not a Rams fan.
How about this? The Niners win because of kicking.
Kicker update. Eddie Pinheiro doinks in the field goal off the post, and then he hits the 59-yarder.
Yeah, he's the MVP of the game, in my opinion. There are a lot of people that had pretty good games or made a big play. Obviously, Mac Jones had a really good game. But yes, Pinheiro made 3 field goals, both his extra points. Meanwhile, the Rams missed a field goal and missed an extra point. The difference in the game was kicking.
And they kicked the ball short of the landing zone in overtime. They gave the ball to the Niners at the 40-yard line. So, kicking was massive in this game. About time special teams made a play. Niners blocked an extra point. Don't forget that. Jordan Elliott with the block on the extra point. Thank you, Brant Boyer. And what did we say, Levin, when we talked yesterday? We said the Niners have to do 3 things in this game. They have to steal possessions, which they absolutely did by going for it on fourth down. Kyle Shanahan, thank you. He is way more aggressive on fourth.
Yeah. If it's 4th and 2 or less and he's at midfield or closer, he's going for it.
3 for 3 tonight, and they recovered a fumble in the red area. That was massive. That's stealing possessions as well. We said they have to protect the football. 0 turnovers, although Mac Jones did try at one point to throw an interception, but it was dropped. Okay.
Both quarterbacks had their stereotypical one throw, and both, like Stafford's didn't go to a defender, but it went to absolutely nobody, where if a defender was there, they would have been all alone to intercept it.
Yes. And I said the third thing was the Niners needed to have big plays on special teams, and you talked about the plays that were made. They followed the check. See, if you just listen to us, we will guide you home, 49ers. Let's get to some super chats. Tony Nagatani says, here's money, Robert Saleh. Is that for me or for Saleh, Tony? Are you trying to get Saleh to stay next year?
It's Saleh if you listen to Al Michaels.
Ugh, Al Michaels is the worst. Larkin says stats, I think 6 might be coming. I'm not going to go that far. I'll just settle for a win on Thursday Night Football. How about this from Moonman Ed? Member for 17 months. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. If you want to become a YouTube channel member, you can now do it on your phone, apparently, which is new. It's less than $3 a month. We would appreciate it. Moonman Ed says, same old sorry-ass Rams.
In my family chat, my brother-in-law said, wow, there's a lot of Niners there. And I said, this is literally the most pro-Rams crowd they've had during a Niners game in like 5 years, because it was 51% was the report I saw. It was 51% 49ers. 49ers still had the advantage. But yeah, it's insane how well they fill that stadium. Levi South for sure.
Antonio says the Mac attack prevails. Let's get to that right now, Levin. We'll get to your super chats. Thank you so much, everybody. We will get to all of them, I promise. I want to break down this game, and since Antonio brought it up, the Kyle Shanahan, Mac Jones, the game plan that Kyle had and the execution that Mac Jones had, it was beautiful to watch. And that first half went just about, except for one Kendrick Bourne drop, that first half went about as good as it could possibly have gone for the 49ers. Don't just take that for granted. Like, Kyle Shanahan did that and Mac Jones did that. Like, that's not a given against a really good defense and a division opponent that knows you well. Like, we got to give major props to Mac and major props to Kyle.
Brock Purdy, take notes. This is what the offense can do when you're just dumping it off. Because they, like, even like some of their big plays, the Kendrick Bournes where he was going underneath, which worked twice. They ran the same play literally twice. First one for a big gain, second one for an important gain of 9 yards towards the end of the game. They were mostly just dumping it off and saying, we're going to get 5 to 6 yard chunks. If you want to give us that, we're going to take it. If that's taken away, maybe I'll look deeper. And they did have a couple of deep passes. I'm not crapping on Mac Jones at all. He played as perfect as a game as I think you can play with the personnel and help that he had. You can't expect him to go out there and throw for 400 yards with scrubs, literally guys that were picked up off the street for wide receivers and options to throw to. But they executed. And it was something that I've been wanting to see out of this offense literally the entire time Kyle Shanahan has been coaching. If there is something super easy at the snap to get 3-4 yards and then see what happens, they took it. There were a handful of plays where the ball was hiked, and the moment Mac Jones got the ball was out because there was a guy that had like a 5-yard cushion, and they just ran him inside. They got him the ball with 3 yards and a head of steam, and he was able to get 4, 5, 6 yards. Like, that's what you want to see. If they're giving you something easy, take it. You see all the top teams do it. All the top quarterbacks go, okay, they want to give me an easy 5 yards. I'm going to do that. Like, you saw that a lot with Cooper Kupp and the Rams in the past. You saw that all the time with Travis Kelce and the Chiefs. If they're going to give me all this cushion to try to take away, the things down the field, fine, we're going to get 5 yards every single time. We're just going to make it super easy right at the snap. And they were finally doing that. I don't know if that's a Mac Jones thing or if that was Kyle Shanahan saying, just get the ball out because you don't have mobility, because maybe he knows his knee is not 100%. And so he devised a game plan of, we're getting the ball out as fast as possible.
His knee ain't 100% now. I'll tell you that. The poor guy barely every possession. He's getting worked on the sideline. He's limping off. I mean, he got beat to hell. Con JKJ says Mac took some hits, but the pass blocking held up really well against this Rams front. The run blocking is terrible. Yes, it was. Mac Jones sacked only one time, and it came in overtime, which is incredible. He understood the assignment. He was, like you said, he was getting the ball out. He was getting the ball to Christian McCaffrey. In fact, when the offense kind of went into a lull, they stopped throwing the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Like third quarter and part of the fourth quarter, they didn't throw to him for a really long time. And then they started throwing to him again. And oh, by the way, 8 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. How about Kendrick Bourne? 10 for 142. And he should have had more because he had
It was the Richie James game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was the Richie James game. Let's get in some more super chats. Jeremy W. Oh, my God. 3 division wins. Major win. Yes. This is massive for the 49ers. It is huge. See what happens, Rams, when the other team actually has 11 guys on the field and one of them doesn't fall down at the snap like the Colts did last week? Just saying. Scott49 says game ball goes to Alfred Collins. How about the play?
One of them for sure.
The rookies in this game, all I feel like had big plays. Alfred Collins with that massive play. Shouldn't say all because that's not true. But
Michael
anyway,
Williams didn't do much in this game. Like I was thinking about that on that final drive. Like, where's he at? We need something from him.
The last play he did.
I know. The very last play he was in on it, but like where there was no pass rush. So that was the one thing I literally was thinking that on the last play. I was like, Michael Williams needs to show up because we haven't seen anything from him yet. Well, he showed up on a run play, and it was huge.
I was just thinking, like, give me a tip. Michael Williams immediately got pressure. Fred Warner, of course, was in there. Lenore got in there. Siegel got in there as well. Siegel is terrible in coverage, but he is awesome against the run.
He got
worked tonight.
So I think Siegel's issue is he doesn't have enough speed.
Like, no, he's fast.
I don't see it. Like you just saw Devontae Adams, the guy without breakaway speed. Like that's never been his MO. Literally pulled away from him on that, or Tutu Atwell. Actually, it was Tutu Atwell on that big play in overtime. He just got run past. Now, like he's a rookie, and I think he's doing enough good that I want to keep seeing him. But yes, he needs to stop giving up the big plays.
Tutu Atwell ran a 4.32.
Yeah.
And Siegel ran a 4.36. So like neither one of them is. I just don't think he doesn't know what he's looking at. Like I think it's.
Well, Tutu Atwell got distance on him at the start of that play because Siegel was playing the boundary.
Yeah,
like, he was shielding that boundary, and then it cut inside and caught him off guard.
I'm sorry. I'm seeing the final play on Twitter. I can't believe Sean McVay on 4th down said we're going to go for this, but we're not going to let Matthew Stafford decide the game. Like.
You know what's crazy, and this makes it even highlights it even more. Like one of the ironic things in this game, in my opinion, was the Niners were the team that could not get any kind of running game going.
No,
like Christian McCaffrey averaged, I think, 2.6 yards per carry.
Yep,
he's down to 3.1 on the season average, and the longest run for the Niners was 8 yards.
Yep,
the Rams had some nice runs in this game, but it's their running backs that arguably lost the game because they had 2 critical fumbles, and they also both had critical drops on passes that they had daylight on. Like the running backs arguably were the difference, but not because of anything to do with the running. But to get back to that final play, the reason why it's so crazy is both teams had completely abandoned the run. Christian McCaffrey didn't get a carry. There was no rushing play on either of the last 2 drives for the 49ers. The Rams had also abandoned the run. I think they had 1 on their second to last drive, and they had none in overtime up until that one, if memory serves. So it's crazy that that's the way he went.
Yeah, he went Stafford, pass. You're right. That is the only run the Rams had in overtime. The Niners second to last possession, which came in regulation, was the run.
Well, I don't. Yeah, that's not. I'm talking about when they were actually trying to drive and do something. They did not run on. I would say the drive before that when they got some points, and they abandoned the run, and they should because Christian McCaffrey had 22 rushes for 57 yards, and like I'm not saying the blocking is good. The blocking is atrocious, but I know you got my text.
I saw it.
There are plays where there is daylight. And Christian McCaffrey is blind right now. So it's like the double whammy. The blocking is as bad as can be, and the running back does not make anything happen. There were multiple plays this game where if he just cuts to the left, both times it was cut to the left, he literally has 5 yards of daylight. And like, I'm talking about 5 yards between like a gap to run through, a 5 yard wide open hole to run through. And instead he runs into his own blocker. And I sent you 2 screenshots of that example, but there were others that he could have had more yards. So it's just, the Niners have the worst run game in the league now, something I thought I would never say with Kyle Shanahan.
Well, they got 12 days to get it right, baby. Chris Waddell, thank you for the super chat. So glad we won, but Kyle's conservatism almost made me lose my mind. Quarterback controversy, McVay not letting Matt make the play is wild, but happy. Oh my God, this long break, our team needs it so bad. Okay, so there's a lot there, Chris. I love that Kyle's going for it on 4th down. He's doing it all year, and I will say this, the only reason that they were able to have the first half that they had, or one of the reasons, was because he kept going for it on 4th down and they kept converting. I don't know what changed with him, but I am so glad it did. It has made up for some of the deficiencies on this offense. He's calling plays on 3rd down differently now because he knows he's going to go for it on 4th down. It is almost everything I wanted to see. He doesn't do it every time I want him to, but it is so much better than it has been, and I hope he keeps doing it all year. They don't win this game without that.
No, the 4th downs were huge. They were 3 for 3. I don't think they had one towards the end of the game. I mean, I was so kind of like in the moment that some of the bigger picture things kind of fell away, but I know they were 3 for 3 going into the 4th quarter. And I don't think, yeah, okay. But yeah, those were huge. Those literally resulted in extra points, and they needed every single one of them, obviously, because it was an overtime game. Oh, by the way, we won an overtime game.
I was going through it, man. When they got the ball first, I was like, no, this isn't going to happen again. And then we didn't get the touchdown, so they had to settle for the field goal, which Eddie Pinheiro doinked off the post. Duckstar says, McCorkle effing Jones. How about Mac Jones dropping 342 on 49 passing attempts in the game? Yeah.
By the way, I think Matt Stafford had the most passing yards he's had as a Ram.
Stafford had 389 in the game.
At least they said. I was surprised. I never went and confirmed when they showed like his best game as a Niner, and it was like 372.
It was a crazy game. Mac Jones throwing for 49 times for 342. Like, the Niners are going to have to probably look for a quarterback, because we got a report that Brock Purdy's had a setback with his turf toe. He is day to day. I've heard some things that maybe IR could be a possibility for Brock Purdy. And we don't want Adrian Martinez in there. So, let's.
If IR is even a debate, they made a huge mistake by not doing it before the game to get it to count. Although I think there might be a loophole. I can't remember. It's vaguely familiar. Maybe that's something I'll have to look at tomorrow. But there might be a rule where you can IR somebody in retrospect as long as they weren't actually active for the game when they play on Thursday. Meaning the Niners could IR him tomorrow or Saturday and have this week count. So I think they can. But yeah, if it's even something they're debating, absolutely IR, because it's something, like I said, it resets back to 0 with a setback. You don't want to risk it. But I did want to touch on Waddell quarterback controversy question mark. This is where I'm at with it, and it's not going to change no matter how well he does if Mac Jones keeps playing. Purdy will get his chance when he comes back, whenever he's healthy. If he continues to struggle, but the Niners eke into the playoffs at like 10-6, and he's just looked bad, while Mac Jones looks like this, maybe I do go to him in the playoffs. But really what I would do in that case is I would stick with Brock Purdy, and then in the offseason, it would be, all right, you two are going to duke it out in training camp, since Mac Jones is a 2-year contract.
I'm not addressing the quarterback controversy thing.
That's why I want to say that, because it's like, it's something that at the very earliest, it's at the end of the season that it really becomes anything.
I'm not doing this tonight. I just want to enjoy this win.
I know. I'm just saying, because it comes up in every show. Every show, somebody's commenting about, quarterback controversy after the Mac Jones wins. And this win is arguably the best he's played. And I did want to say, by the way, I said earlier in the first 2 wins that he looked like the ideal backup. That, yeah, he looked okay, but he wasn't great. You could see why he's not a starter. This game, he looked like a starter.
I don't know about that, but again, I want to enjoy this. Brock Purdy and Mac Jones are on the same team. We don't have to pit them against one another. But I will say this, like Brock Purdy should be watching this game. When you are on time in this offense, the answers are there for you. That's why Mac looks good, because he's on time and he's executing the game plan. Like, Brock, you said you wanted to do it. You have to do it. It's there. Like, I hope he learns that. Anyway, Lettuce49 says, how long have you been live? Game of the year so far. I totally agree. Larkin says, you guys, 10 days off have never meant so much. I mean, D. Winters got hurt in this game, but came back and played. Kalia Davis hurt his hand. He was ruled out pretty quick. Yitar Gross Matos, that poor guy is not even practicing and gutting it out. He hurt his hamstring in the game. Obviously, we saw Mac Jones. I mean, the poor guy, I thought his leg was going to fall off at one point. They're working on his leg. They're working on his arm. They're working on everything. So I'm sure the injury report will be lengthy. If anybody sees anything, drop it in the chat.
I'll say this about the two defensive linemen getting injured. I think the Niners need to treat this mini bye as we need to go get one. It can be,
yeah.
I mean, interior is banged up because they lost guys prior to the season starting. And if Khalil Davis is out for any amount of time, like, they got nothing on the interior. And same with if Gross Matos is out for any length of time, like, they got nothing on the outside. So, like, they need to treat this mini bye week as we're going to get healthy for the players, but the front office needs to go get some guys.
Con JKJ says Kendrick Bourne really stepped up. We already talked about it. He absolutely did. He had a big drop early in the game that could have helped the 49ers make it a 3-score game early on, which would have been massive.
I mean, I did curse his name in a text to you at one point in the first half.
But I mean, look, when you go 10 for 142, and that was the only pass he dropped all game, by the way, that was the only target that wasn't complete. Like, he carried the receiver. No other wide receiver had more than 39 yards, and that was Demarcus Robinson. 3 catches for 39 yards. Sort of hoping for bigger things from him. But speaking of Demarcus Robinson, by the way, really quick, want to give a shout out to Sleeper. Thank you, Sleeper, for hopping on. Demarcus Robinson was one of my pregame picks. I had him more than 27.5 receiving yards. I had him more than 2.5 catches. Ding. Ding. I hit my Mac Jones passing yardage more than I hit my, actually, let me see. Did Puka go over 100? No, he didn't. Okay, so I lost that one. But Christian McCaffrey, more than 54.5 receiving yards. I don't know why they keep putting that number so low. It's ridiculous. But nonetheless, use Sleeper to make these picks when I give them to you. I promise you, you won't regret it. Because if you hit your picks, you could win up to 1,000 times your money with Sleeper. Just pick more or less on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more. Again, for 1,000 times payout. And if you use our promo code GSP, you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And if you're a first-time user, they'll give you $20. They'll give it to you. How can you turn that down? Again, use Sleeper. It's super easy. You see the app on my phone. You can make pregame picks. You can make live picks, whatever you want to do, but do it today with Sleeper. All right, let's get back to some of the super chats. Warlock, our old friend, says Purdy doesn't win that game. Mac should start. Again, I'm not pitting them against one another. I'm not doing that today. This was an insane game. It was a ridiculous game. The Rams had multiple chances to score. They fumbled the football. They had a point after touchdown blocked. They missed a field goal. They had a stupid kickoff. The Rams did everything you can do as the better team to lose a game to a worse team. And to the 49ers' credit, they took advantage almost every single time.
I mean, the margin for error was literally Kyron Williams is going across the goal line and 6 inches prior to the goal line to take a touchdown or to score a touchdown and take the lead with 1 minute to go. He loses the fumble because he literally got punched with a Mike Tyson haymaker. Like, that punch had force to it. Like, Fred Warner has never punched that hard. That punch was a full up wind up from a very massive man.
Well, that's the thing. He is a large man. And how about this tonight, Levin? This is a crazy stat. The Rams had 15 rushing attempts by a running back. Only one of them didn't gain a single yard. And it was the last one in overtime to come up short on 4th down. That is an incredible nugget. You know, this defense, man, sometimes they drive you nuts, But God, so far this year, have they made critical plays in critical moments?
Yeah, they're the closers. The offense is not the closing unit. The defense is the closing unit.
It has been for 3 of their 4 wins, really.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about that. By the way, there's 2,000 people watching right now. Thank you so much. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're live after every Niners game. We're live every single weekday for you here on the channel. Please subscribe. I promise you, if you give us a chance, we will earn your time. Let's get to some more super chats. Alejandro Sandoval, tip of the cap to Mac and KB tonight. Alfred Collins, clutch play on that 4th down stop. Also, kicker update. Kicker update. Next weekend, the offense healthy minus Brandon Ayuk. Well, we don't know. So if you weren't watching pregame, they said it looks like George Kittle could come back next week. It looks like Ricky Pearsall could come back next week. Brandon Ayuk is still a couple of weeks away. So we could get reinforcements, but we know the blood sacrifice the 49ers have to do. They can't get anyone back without other people being injured. So we got to see about Kalia Davis and all that stuff as well. Shout out to Matt Baldwin. You get the fist pump for becoming a new YouTube channel member. Thank you very much. But yeah, this could be reinforcements. But again, we don't know the injuries tonight.
Yeah, and for the people in the chat, sorry, I got to address it because I've seen about 4 people. They say I'm using my desktop microphone. I just checked the settings. It's not the desktop microphone.
Oh.
I don't know if it's because Rob is so pumped up that he's kind of screaming.
Sorry,
but I just checked. Like it's not. But I've seen like 3 people say that I sound extremely quiet.
You don't sound quiet to me because I would have fixed that before the show. Here, you know what?
I did just find automatically adjust mic volume somehow got unchecked. So maybe that is why.
I'll give you a little boost. How about that? God knows you need the help. Maxine says, kicker update, doink, the good one. Gabe Garoni, a star is born. Thank you very much for the super chat. Edgar L says, Jason was great saying to take the plus 8.5. He did say that with me on Tuesday. In fact, when the Niners were up in the first half, he was texting me like, you idiot. You said they were going to get blown out. I predicted this bar for bar. He was like, he wanted to storm the instant reacts, which I sent him the link, but he's not here, obviously, but I would have let him gloat because he earned it.
So he's all talk. I see.
Kyle has made the brave decisions today, Edgar says. Wouldn't risk either to go on 4th down with Martinez. I will say this. Look, there's so much good today. I don't want to be negative, but I did not like after the fumble and the Niners took over on the 1-yard line. I understand the sneak to give yourself some room. I wanted them to pass it there. I wanted them to at least try to get the 1st down to close it out because I know the Rams had their timeouts. I get all of that, but you know you're not getting a 1st down if you run it. You've been horrible. You were just giving up there, and then you were punting to them, and they were basically going to be in field goal range anyway because of the field position. Even if you drop back to pass and get a safety, you still have a lead, and the Rams are likely going to have the ball in worse field position, assuming your return team can actually do something, which I know is dangerous, but I didn't love that sequence from Kyle Shanahan. I'm glad it didn't come back to bite them, but I thought it could have.
The only issue I had with it was on 3rd down. 2nd down, you still got to run it. That was one of the plays that I sent you. 2nd down, Christian McCaffrey could have bounced to the left, and instead he literally ran into the back of his offensive lineman. But to the left, he had one player to beat, and that player was leaning to the inside, meaning Christian McCaffrey would have had the advantage. And then he literally has 10 yards to the sideline with no other defender there except for one DB that's 5 yards down the field, and he has Demarcus Robinson charging at him to block. So that was one of the plays that I had a problem with Christian McCaffrey. But on 3rd down, I would have loved to see take the risk. Like you said, a safety is not that big of a deal. Take the risk and do a play action and throw it deep. Go with the Ricky Pearsall type of play. Throw it deep, instead of 4th down, it's 3rd down. But the same situation. You get 1 first down, the game is over. That's why, to me, it was worth passing on 3rd down just to see. I just wouldn't have taken the risk of passing over the middle or any of those things. I'm doing play action, and I'm bombing it 40 yards deep for a jump ball. If it's caught, great. If it's intercepted, it's a punt anyways.
Mm-hmm. So it's Michelle's birthday today. And she was originally going to go to this game but her dog tore both its ACLs and had to have surgery. And so they didn't fly to LA.
Is her dog a 49ers player?
So she didn't go to the game. She made a video. I got to figure out how to get it on the live stream. But maybe I'll see if I can figure it out.
I need that story. You got to get that story. Like, how did it tear both? Did it have one torn? Because dogs having a torn ACL isn't that uncommon and you don't really know it. But did it tear both at the same time? Like, if that happened, that's got to be some kind of crazy story.
He must have been wearing a 49ers jersey at the time.
Yeah.
Lettuce49 says Kyle did pucker hard on that post-fumble possession, screen on third, 100. How about this question from Jeff Deeney? There are injury question marks going forward, but does this win make Lynch more aggressive in trading for an edge rusher? What do you think?
100%. And it's not the win. I think the win certainly helps, but it's the fact that they got another injury on the edge. They have to.
Well, right. Yeah. Now it's not even like a luxury thing. It's like, we don't have anyone.
Well, it's not only like, all right, so if you go trade for a defensive tackle, because I mentioned they're depleted there too.
Yeah.
You don't do anything to address the edge, right? But if you go trade for an edge, you're able to rotate Kyle Williams to the inside sometimes. So you're helping the defensive tackles as well.
Right. And that's really how they want to use Kyle Williams. That's how they were using him before Bosa got hurt. It's going to be very interesting, although he might have to use his assets to trade for a quarterback because who the hell knows who's going to be under center.
Kirk Cousins. Let's go. Let's talk about
it. It's not nothing. I'll say that. It's not nothing. Emmanuel Vega says, hate to say it, but as much as they lost it, but I'll take it. Kudos to Mac Jones. Yeah, look, did the Rams make big mistakes in this game? Absolutely, they made big mistakes in this game. So what? The 49ers didn't make big mistakes in this game. That's why they deserve to win it. What do they always say? Do right longer? The 49ers did right longer tonight than the Rams did.
I mean, the Niners literally lost a game last week because they just couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you can say that as a Rams fan. And if I'm a Rams fan, I probably feel that way. They're like, they should have won this game. The running backs screwed us is probably who I'd be most mad at, that the running backs literally both of them had drops, with Karam having 2 critical drops, and they both lost fumbles, and including one literally as they're going across the goal line to take the lead with a minute to go. So I get the Rams fans thinking that. I will say we used to have a Rams fan in our chat.
Oh, yeah.
Frequently with a Jim Affritt logo. I have not seen him yet.
Yeah, where are you, Jim? Awful quiet now. Knees says Mac Jones died for this.
Yeah, you were talking about Mac Jones early in the show when that comment came in. Okay. And that comment came in, and I was stifling a laugh while you were talking because I saw that.
Emmanuel says, hate to say it, but we didn't win as much as they lost it, but I'll take it. Kudos to Mac. There is no quarterback controversy. I agree.
I think it can be both things. The Niners, they played mistake-free, essentially. So I think the Niners deserved to win. They played winning football, but at the same time, the Rams got in their own way and lost the game that they could have won.
How about this from Kyle Shanahan? I'm just seeing some post-game comments come in. Kicker update. Shanahan on calling for Piñeiro's 59-yard field goal. It was close. We were pretty close on that line. Debated for a bit, then said, screw it. Let's see what he's got.
I was surprised that they did.
Yeah.
I was like, his career long coming into that was, I think, 56 yards. So I thought, he's not going to, the field position at that time and where the game was, I thought he's not going to risk giving this to the Rams at midfield. But I mean, clearly he can hit them because it didn't just barely get over. Like, that would have been good from probably 62, 63 yards.
Yeah, it had some distance on it. And I think part of it too was it was 4th and 11. Yeah. You know, if it was 4th and 2, maybe he's like, I'm not going to risk it, but it was 4th and 11. So that probably made him more likely to go for it. Lettuce49 says Kyle cares more about losing to McVay than he does winning a Super Bowl. Best head coach rivalry in the league. Also wild. Purdy didn't travel with the team. Yeah, that was a little surprising. Purdy didn't even travel with the team. But you know what? If he's not going to play next week, then don't let him travel again. Like, keep him out of there. They won.
I think that there's 2 possibilities for why he didn't travel. One, they didn't want to see him limping. Like, they didn't want cameras to see that. Like, it's possible that he's really limping. And tied with that is it's possible that basically he's been told, hey, this got worse. You need to stay the hell off your foot.
That could be it too. Maybe he's laid up somewhere. Shanahan talked about it afterwards. Quote, everything I told you last week was true. He re-aggravated it. He's week to week. Don't know how it will heal. That is
week to week is a huge difference from day to day.
And don't know how it will heal. Like Joe Burrow has turf toe and he's out for basically the whole year. Like we're not, it's possible Brock Purdy needs surgery. Like we don't know now. Who knows? Everything is on the table. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Shanahan has
to be pretty telling in the next couple of days. If they IR him in the next couple of days, that tells you that we might be looking at Brock after the bye week at the earliest.
Lionheart says, looks like Cardi, the Rams kicker, is the new Moody. That's mean, but also true. Cam Inman says, Shanahan has yet to see a replay of the game-ending play, but from the field, it didn't look like Williams had anywhere to go. Chase Lucas was the first guy there. Then all the guys swarmed. It looked like a brick wall, similar to what we went through all game when running. How about that? Kyle Shanahan is in a good mood because he's making jokes. Becca says, F the Rams, F McMay, bang, bang, Niner game, 4-1. All right. Appreciate the enthusiasm there.
Amazing how things change with a single win because we were very different yesterday.
I thought I was totally wrong. I was totally wrong. I thought they were going to get killed. I thought they were going to get run all over. I thought the Rams were going to embarrass the 49ers, and I just embarrassed myself is really what happened.
It might be a blessing in disguise that it was a Thursday game because if McVay had more time to prepare for Purdy being out and Jennings being out and Pearsall being out, maybe the Niners don't win this game.
Nick E says, I recall someone saying we were going to catch a beatdown this week. Will you be eating those words with ketchup or raw?
No, he's going to eat them with mayo.
Oh, God. Yeah, that would be the ultimate punishment. Gray Fox 198 says, I can't believe we pulled it off. I'm sorry for doubting you, Saleh and Kyle. Cal Raleigh MVP. Ooh, I like that. Way to slip that in the end there, Gray Fox. Appreciate that. RS says, do we have a quarterback controversy? No. Don Giovanni says, Kyle haters are dumb. He's winning with the third string. I said it earlier, man. You have to give Kyle Shanahan flowers. Like, people just ignore this. Apply it to another team, right? That's sometimes I think that's the best way to do it, right? Just pick another team and say, pick the Eagles, right? How about no Jalen Hurts, no AJ Brown, no Devontae Smith, no Dallas Goedert. You would still have Saquon Barkley. You're also not going to have your best pass rusher. Pick whoever you want on the Eagles. I don't care. And say, yeah, now go win a division game against your best team in the division. And by the way, the 49ers didn't win this game 3-0. You know, they put up 407 total yards of offense. The 49ers ran 83 plays tonight. We have to give Kyle Shanahan his flowers. How many other coaches are doing that?
And I mean, this was the most creative I've seen. I texted you that after the first two drives, that was the most creative two drives I have seen Kyle Shanahan in 3 years. And I didn't text you this during the game because it's kind of hard to talk about it, and I wanted to save it for the show. But I did have a thought that went with that after I sent that text. I wonder if Brock, seeing things down the field and being able to read a defense so well, at least until this season, has made Kyle Shanahan say, I don't need all those gimmicks. You know, I just need to give him quality plays and he will find the right guy each play. And with him out, he's getting back to, all right, we're going to have these gimmicks like that Kendrick Bourne going under, you know, coming across the field 2 yards, but having the guys set up to block it to where it's almost like a screen. It's like a 4-yard screen instead of throwing it still in the backfield. Like there was a lot of creativity in this game, and that's a big reason why they won. I just wonder how much of it is that he trusts Brock to get through his progressions, so he doesn't think he needs the gimmicks.
I mean, they always help. Like last week, they ran the hook and ladder play to perfection. They ran the variation of the flea flicker. Remember that against the Cowboys, they ran a flea flicker and they threw it to Kittle for a touchdown. They did the same thing where they have the end around guy come back and he flips it up, except this time they set it up as a screen to McCaffrey. That was a new wrinkle. They ran the double fake screen to the tight end again, which we saw on Thursday Night Football in 2022 against the Seahawks. He was in his bag tonight, as he should have been, right? Like, this is the time to throw the kitchen sink at people, and he did. not so much in the second half, but like you only have so many of those plays per week, especially on a short week, which, by the way, that's another thing. Kyle did all this on a short week, which is he deserves even more credit.
I do want to say, because I think it's a possibility. I would be fascinated to find out. I don't know that anybody else will ask it. I would not be shocked if they don't. I do wonder if he did some of the game install last week. Like he prepared some things for the Rams last week so that it wasn't trying to do all the game install for the Rams, a divisional opponent, with only one kind of half practice basically this week. Like it makes me wonder. And does that maybe explain some of the lack of focus on the Jaguars from the team? Because that's how he treats their. I would not be surprised that he said, we're playing the Rams. We're going to have, a couple plays or, one set of plays, one series each practice that's for the Rams.
I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe he didn't need to because he knows the Rams. I have no idea, but I'm not going to say you're wrong. George,
I'm just saying, sorry, before we get off that topic, the complicated plays, those trick plays, I can't see how he did that on such a short week without time to actually run them in practice.
That is a good point. And they did walkthroughs and stuff, so maybe they went over it and walked through, but those are not easy to pull off if you haven't actually run them. So it's a good point by you. I begrudgingly give you that point. George Kittle has chimed in with a bang bang. Thank you, George. Joe says, gentlemen, you know what we always say at times like this, same old sorry ass Rams. For anyone that doesn't know, that goes back to William Floyd when the Niners and Rams were, their rivalry was in the 90s. And I guess I don't remember the specifics around it. I guess there was talk that like maybe the Rams were good and the Niners weren't good anymore. And William Floyd is on the sideline and he said, same old Niners, same old sorry ass Rams. And it was an all-time line by him.
Speaking of all time, William Floyd and Tecmo Bowl. Hello.
Brett Davis says, stop being a wet blanket, Levin.
About what? Which point? Because there's options.
That's true. Sierra Bookman says, had just listened to the two of you dog everyone before the game. So happy they told you to hold their beer. I was wrong. Clearly,
I'm not holding beer, but it's got alcohol in it.
I mean, clearly I was wrong. It's not going to be the last time I'm wrong about a prediction. The Niners, I mean, that's the crazy thing, Levin. What changed from the Jags week? Except the turnovers. It's really the only thing. They still couldn't run the ball. They really couldn't do anything. They didn't give the ball away. They didn't really get pressure on Stafford. It was just the turnovers.
I mean, they had consistency on offense because they were saying, hey, we're going to be methodical about this and just get 5-yard chunks. But I want to test my quick game recognition on a beer can. Uh-oh. Okay. Somebody's joining us. But was that a Sam Adams pumpkin, fall pumpkin?
Oktoberfest.
Ah.
It was Oktoberfest. All right, we got a surprise guest. Jason Aponte is here. What up, Jay?
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Anything interesting going on?
Sure was a good thing that they play the football games because if you listen to 49ers fans and pundits, the 49ers had no shot this entire week. It's a good thing that they actually play the football games. Funny how that works, huh? And you know what I want to do? Because everybody loves to point it out when everybody says, hey, Jason, you're wrong. You got it, all wrong and everything.
He's patting himself on the back.
I told you on Tuesday. I told you all week. I told you this team was destined to do this. This is how this team was going to win this game. It's a damn shame that you don't even believe in your own team, especially when historical precedent. It couldn't be me, especially when historical precedent is right there in your face because the San Francisco 49ers have not lost a game in the last 5 years following a loss to the Los Angeles Rams. But it was right there in front of you. But you chose to focus on the injuries. You chose to focus on Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. You didn't focus on the fact that the Rams have a worse special teams unit than the San Francisco 49ers. You didn't focus on the fact that Kyle Shanahan can craft a game plan like this and only when he has the B and C squad. Zach Taylor couldn't even get the Cincinnati Bengals to get a fucking first down. Sorry, didn't mean to curse. To get a first down. Apologize for that. Couldn't even get them to get a first down with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the field. And Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, Jake Tonjes, Kyle Shanahan, Mac Jones go out there and they beat a game with the Rams. One more thing I want to say, Rob. The Rams don't blow out the 49ers. The 49ers only blow out the Rams. In every single game that the last three that they have won have been by a total of 1 point, 3 points, 6 points. The San Francisco 49ers have beaten the Rams since 2019 by 21, by 20, by 17. The Rams don't blow out the 49ers. The 49ers only blow out the Rams. Don't know why you thought that this was going to happen today.
Damn. All I'll say is he was not alone.
Let's go, Levin. Let's go.
I said this was the least excited I was for a 49ers primetime game in a very, very long time. Because all those injuries put me in a downer mood.
I mean, also, Jay, what the hell was Sean McVay doing not letting Stafford touch the ball on 4th down? What the hell? And you took the ball out of Stafford's hands?
Sounds like he should be fired.
Hey, new offensive coordinator.
Hey, we're getting the band back together.
That's
Maybe
right.
one more Houston loss, one more Mike McDaniel loss. We're gonna get all the guys back together.
I'm here for it, man. Sign me up for that. Do you think that this win makes it more likely that Lynch trades for an edge rusher?
Yeah, I think you have to at least see them, work the phones a little bit more. I mean, look, I'm not choosing to talk about this now because for me, I really don't care because I'm just gonna enjoy the win right now. But you have to start to wonder now, what does it look like if Mac Jones gets Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, George Kittle back next week, against a Bucs defense that looks highly susceptible and had the Jets throwing all over them and everything as well, too. I think I'm not mad at anybody that wants to see things like that. I will not choose to partake in that discussion right now because I'm just having too much fun with this win and enjoying the fact that the 49ers are 3-0 in the division, 4-0 in the NFC, and you have bagged 4 wins that you would have never had last season. But I don't blame anybody for talking about it. We're on the cusp, if we're not already. Quarterback controversy time.
Oh, no. And Jay's flying high because his Yankees eliminated the Red Sox tonight, too.
Sorry, we don't talk about scrubs on this podcast.
Well, thanks. You were talking about Rob, so
no. The Mariners have the Detroit Tigers, and the Yankees travel up to Canada to face Toronto. But baseball is not a real sport. What is a real sport is football, and the San Francisco 49ers are 3-0 in the division. And I want to leave with this. If you don't believe that the NFL is a week-to-week league, then check out the reactions from last week to now. Yep. Last week, the sky's falling. This team is cooked. This team is going nowhere. This week, the San Francisco 49ers, never a doubt, baby. And wait till we get reinforcements. Let's not do this and swing left and then swing right. Let's stay in the middle and let's stay week to week. Guys, I know we're passionate. I know, look at me. That's fine. That's fine. And Mr. J says Yankees have the most bandwagon fan and base. My father's from the Bronx. Okay? You don't get to leave the house. You don't get to stay in the house if you're not a Yankees fan. So just enjoy the Niners win, dude. You've been wrong a lot lately. What I want to say is just please, week to week, 1-0. 1-0. Move 1-0. That's it. Stop telling me that you think that the season's over after a win, after a loss. I guarantee you that the 49ers are going to lose more games this year. So let's settle down. Okay? Now a win like this, we're back. Never a doubt, right? Like you see how quickly it's like pendulum is swinging. Don't be that. Just try to be in the middle. Try to be water. Try to be fluid. Bruce Lee said that. So yeah, that's it, man. Let's go Niners. Enjoy the win, guys. Enjoy the win.
Well, thanks, Jay. Thanks for the
for 10 days.
Yes, and we get so much time. This weekend is this weekend's filled with nothing but watching my parlays get cooked and my fantasy team get cooked by 2:30 in the afternoon. Like, I can't wait to sit here and just watch football and not have to worry about anything. Could you imagine your team having a chance to lose this weekend? Couldn't be me.
Let's go Buccaneers this week against the Seahawks. And you know what? Let's say Cardinals could lose to the Titans too. Why the hell not? Jay, thank you so much for hopping in, man. We appreciate it.
Enjoy the win, guys. Thank you, Levin. Thank you, Rob. Hell yeah, let's do this.
All right. Nice seeing you, Jason.
Jason Aponte coming in with a mic drop and patting him on the back, and he deserves it. He was right. He was right. Okay, we have a lot of super chats I do want to get to. I appreciate everybody again. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. There's more than 2,000 people watching as the 49ers get the 26-23 win in overtime. Travis Kilmer says, crazy game. Will Jed let them get a new rusher? You can't rule it out right now. Like, they're going to have to make some deals. I think the Cousins thing, I don't know the financials of that because I never really looked at it seriously. I don't know how they would do it unless he was willing to rework it. Would that be a possibility? It doesn't seem like it.
I wouldn't be for the right situation. I would say Kirk probably would because I do not think he's overly happy being in Atlanta
right
as a backup. Like I think let me put it a different way. I think there are places that he would be willing to go and still be the backup and take a pay cut to do it.
I'm just saying, let's just see how it develops. Keaton Badger says a healthy Purdy wins this game by 10. Nice to see a little Brock Purdy support. Julie says, Julie Pascal, Mac Jones, baby, came straight to the instant reaction show to celebrate. Yeah, Julie, that's what we like to see. The dedication. Thank you, Julie. We should be celebrating today. So many good things in this win. Kenny G says, can we use Robinson as the running back and CMC as a wide receiver? He isn't making a big impact running the ball. Saving hits might draw coverage, opening up the running game. I'm not a Robinson fan. At this point, I think I'd rather see Garendo, to be honest with you, just because at least Garendo can break something because he's fast.
Yeah, he can break the Niners' backs by fumbling. He almost did it on a return.
I know. Actually, we got very lucky on that they called forward. As soon as they said forward progress, I was like, great, because you can't review it.
Right.
Which, by the way, how can Sean McVay stop the game and not challenge? Like, what's that? If you
Well, you can't challenge it. So he wanted to challenge it, and he was told that's not a challengeable play.
But that's a penalty. If you challenge a play that's not challengeable, that's a penalty. That's what I'm saying. But so how does he get to stop the game and not challenge and not get a penalty? What if you stop the game? It should be a penalty because the only way he can stop the game without calling a timeout is to challenge. So I thought that was a little weird. Chris Waddell says, I meant at the end of regulation, I wanted an attempt at first down. 4 downs are awesome. Just didn't want to give them the ball back. That was my fear at the end of what happened at the end of regulation is exactly what I was afraid of happening.
Yeah.
Because they could not run. They couldn't even gain a yard. Christian McCaffrey lost 2 yards on 2 carries back to back. It was brutal. John Bean said we should never have doubted Mac Jones. Bama always beats Georgia. College football love right there. Verse repeatedly roughing the passer and no pens. There were a couple of roughing the passer calls that should have got called. The play where Mac really hurts his knee, was it that one? Or maybe it was a play before that. It was that sequence.
That was the one that his calf cramped, was the one that he got landed on.
Okay. He got, and it's a bogus penalty because I don't think it's roughing the passer. Like I grew up in an NFL where that's not roughing the passer.
It's bogus because the guy's literally trying not to do it. Like I feel like intent should matter some.
It doesn't though, but the letter of the law says it doesn't.
Right.
Batman 29 says $10 super for $10 Mac Jones. He's growing on me for sure. I miss this style of our offense. Get the ball out quick. Reminds me of the Jimmy G days, but I don't know. It's effective. Brock needs to take notes. We've been saying it all show. He absolutely does need to take notes. You got to do more. He's got to know when to follow the script and when to go off script. And I feel like he hunts for the big play to the detriment of staying ahead of the chains. The Niners did a good job of staying ahead of the chains most of the night.
The he's growing on me for sure was definitely a thought I had. I think it was in the third quarter at one point. I found myself wanting Mac Jones to throw and liking his moxie. And I thought to myself, what is going on? I'm actually liking McCorkle and wanting him to throw. Like I'm rooting for the guy and actually liking, like I was starting to like his persona, like how he was playing, the way he was gutting it out. You know, I liked his smack talking there at one point in the second quarter. Like, I think it was second quarter, right? Second quarter. Yeah. But like, I found myself actually going, I like this MO. I like this attitude. And I was like, wait, this is Mac Jones I'm talking about.
I agree. I mean, how could you not? I mean, he gave everything. He left it all out there. He's getting hurt every possession. They're working on him on the sidelines. Like
he was literally doing everything he could to not puke when he came off the field.
At one point, he bent over.
He was dry heaving twice.
Oh, man. Derek M says, I was going to talk crap if my Rams won, so I have to give credit in the loss. Your content is good, man. Keep up the good work. We'll win next time. You know what, Derek? I appreciate that because not only did you come in the show, which is one thing, but to give a super chat after a loss like that, respect, Derek. Yeah. That is a Rams fan. You are welcome anytime. Nick E says we finally have offensive depth. Yeah, that's true. I guess you can't argue we don't have depth because they're doing it with depth.
I mean, I'm glad Mac Jones is here for 2 years. I had that thought during the game, too. I was like, hey, I'm glad we don't have to worry about who the backup will be, and we don't have to worry all that much if Brock has a more serious injury. Like, I had those thoughts during the game.
Matt Baldwin, new YouTube channel member. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it. E-Holes says, have the 49ers ever worn white jerseys 5 straight weeks? I don't know, but they're not going to be in a red jersey until week 10, I believe. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Or at least... Is it maybe? Yeah, I think it is week 10, which is crazy. Fernando says football gods were on our side tonight. #Go Niners. You know, they earned it. Like the Rams made mistakes, yes, but the Niners made the play on 4th down in overtime. They made the stop. It's not like the Rams guy fell down. The Niners made the play. Again, took advantage of the opportunities that were there.
Like I said, both can be true. The Niners made the plays when they needed to make them. They won this game, but at the same time, the Rams were effing it up when they could. Like they had multiple players make huge, costly plays that cost them the victory. So like both the Rams screwed this up and should have won. And at the same time, the Niners made all the plays that they needed to make to win.
100%. Ray Salim says, Philly has the tush push. We have the Mac truck. They had juice behind Mac at one point, and he pushed them forward. I liked that. How about this from Vic Tafer? Diamador Lenore said they knew the Rams were running on the last play because of how they lined up. Quote, we needed this psycho, pointing to Chase Lucas, to shoot the gap, and boom, 49ers win. That, to me, goes back to Saleh, right? They knew they were running because of how they lined up. That's a coaching point. That's Robert Saleh, man. He has them buttoned up on defense, and it came through in the biggest moment of the game.
I did want those questions asked, and I don't know if McVay or Kyle Shanahan got asked in the postgame. We'll have to see. But I wanted to know how much of a chess match was happening there. Because the sequence was, to take everybody back to 45 minutes ago or an hour ago, it was the Rams line up to go for it. After they see the formation, the Niners call a timeout. The Rams come back out to go for it. And with 10 seconds to go on the play clock, Stafford calls a timeout. And you're thinking, yeah, okay, they were just wanting to draw them off sides the whole time. But then the Rams come back out yet again and actually do go for it when the Niners get the stop. So did Kyle Shanahan see something? Either he knew what the Rams were going to be calling based on how they lined up, because they didn't line up the same. I noticed that. The Rams lined up the same every time. So I don't know if the first time out was Kyle Shanahan saying, I know what they're running, and calling the timeout to tell the defense. And I don't know if McVay called the second time out and then changed the play. Like maybe they were going to do play action. Maybe they were going to do something else, but then they thought they saw something in the defense.
You know, you mentioned that play action. It did make me think. The Niners get the field goal on the possession where Mac gets hurt, right? They're all banged up and they have to kick a field goal there. And it made me think if the fact that his knee was banged up for the second straight week affected the play calling in the red zone, because Kyle said last week he wanted to call a play action, but he didn't think Mac could do it because his knee was bothering him. And then I'm like, here we are again, goal to go situation, and Mac's knee is banged up and they can't get this thing in the end zone. I wonder if that entered into it at all.
I mean, the Niners were in shotgun a lot on that last drive in overtime. Yes. I do think that a lot of that was so that Mac wasn't having to do as big of a drop back. He wasn't having to try. You know, when you're under center, you got to drop back fast to get away from the line. When you're in shotgun, it's a little bit slower of a drop back, and it's not as big of a drop back. So I do think he was trying to save him. I also think there's a little bit of an advantage when you're doing that in terms of Christian McCaffrey and quickly being able to dump it to him if he goes to the flat and he's open.
I agree. Alejandro says, now does everyone see why you need a formidable backup quarterback? Without Mac Jones, where would this team be? We'd be punting on the season if Martinez had to play. Well, they probably would have had someone else ahead of Martinez, but I see your point, Alejandro. Schulman says, so proud of this Niners team. Kyle's beginning to show some evolution as a play caller. I agree. We are getting to see the future with so many of the rookies playing, and this team is getting battle tested. I have to agree with that. Like, that was my feeling coming out of this game, Levin. I'm proud of them. I was so proud of the way even if they had lost, that was going to be one of my takeaways. I'm so proud of the way they played. They came out, they had every excuse in the book to lose this game, and they come right out of the gate. There was no slow start. They came right out of the gate, went right down the field and stuffed it in the end zone. 8-play, 72-yard drive, took up almost 5 minutes, and it was on from the jump. I am damn proud of this team.
Is it fair to say in the last few years, this is a game that the Niners absolutely would have lost previously? I personally think so. I think part of what was the problem, especially last year, was the team lacked fight, and they were a team that was, hey, if things are going our way, now our confidence gets going and the superstars come out. The dominance comes out. But when things don't go our way, they go, F it. And so I feel like this is a type of game that they would have lost last year.
McCaffrey says the win's the most important thing. We don't care how we have it. Everyone and their mother wants the run game to get going more, myself included. We have to keep chipping at it and getting guys back and keep pushing. This is one of the best regular season wins of the Kyle Shanahan era. No question about it. When you look at everybody that was missing and who they were facing and what was at stake, this is no doubt about it one of the best wins of the regular season era of Kyle Shanahan. I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the running, put it that way. I think it's hard to top that Saints game because that was when they announced we're going to run over you. Like, that's when their team identity came out, because you had that catch and run at the end of the game that sealed the victory in that shootout game with the Saints a handful of years back when George Kittle was just trucking guys and getting that big game. That's when they found their team identity. Their team identity was, we're gonna hit people when we have the ball.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. And I miss it, frankly. Perfect Blackness says, if the Niners make the playoffs, Shanahan, with all my criticisms of him, deserves to be coach of the year. He's coaching his ass off. Hats off. Yeah, he should be. I mean, damn, we went over the injuries to get. Oh, this is such a good win, man. I better hear nothing but flowers from everybody in the national media tomorrow. Nothing but flowers from everybody. For one day you got to shut up about Kyle Shanahan, man. Keaton Badger says Brian Robinson needs more goal line touches.
I'll agree with that.
Mike UA says McVay's dumb-looking capri pants lost him the game.
I did notice that. That's funny. Did you notice it?
No. He had capri
right at the kind of. So I think he had pulled him up, probably like from being bent over or something. But they showed him on the sideline. I think it was when they took their timeout before that fourth down play in overtime.
Okay.
And both of his pant legs were up like halfway up his shin. So it did look like capri pants. And I noticed it because his legs were like, so he was wearing black shoes and black pants.
Mm-hmm.
And then so his white legs stood out. Like, it was like, I noticed, I was like, whoa. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And I thought maybe he was bent over, like all nervous, and he'd kind of hiked his pants up or something. I can't imagine he was wearing capri pants. But yeah, I did notice it. So it's kind of funny.
He wouldn't be the first from that coaching tree. I think McDaniel had those on at one point. Oscar says, team showing a lot of heart. I do believe some of that is Mac Jones, the blocked extra point win for special teams unit. That's the first good special teams play Brant Boyer's unit has made, and they needed it. So credit to them, because the Rams would have had the lead at that point and instead stayed a tie game at 20. Mac Jones on Purdy, quote, they brought me here to play as a backup. That's my job. Brock is the starter of this team. Right now, we're dealing with something. To go out last week, not at full health, he cares about this team. I'm trying to get wins for him.
Well, hold on. There's a nugget there.
Right now, dealing with something?
To go out last week, not at full health. Kyle had said he would only play Purdy if he was 100%, and has backed that up this week, saying no, he was 100% going into the game, and then it was after the game that he had pain. That's Mac saying, to me, this is Mac saying Purdy was not 100%, and in my opinion, he played because Mac got banged up worse.
I think so too. I mean, Brock had no injury designation going into that game, which is insane because anyone that watched him could see he wasn't his normal self out there. Yeah, Mac will probably get a talking to for letting that one slip. Will Fries says, who says the season is over? I don't know that anyone said the season is over, but we could celebrate tonight. Jojo says, oh, new YouTube channel member, excuse me. Thank you, Jojo. You get the fist pump as well. Don Giovanni says, Kyle winning with third stringers and rookies, coach of the year. Right now, yeah. Like, I don't care what Shane Steichen is doing in Indianapolis, okay?
Well, excuse me, Sirianni is winning without completing a pass in the second half.
You're not wrong. That's true. Chris Waddell says Kittle didn't travel either. Maybe it's avoiding an inflammation thing from flying. That's been a topic before. I don't know, but whatever. Just get back next week, George. That's all I care about. Travel, don't travel. You think Brock and George watch the game together? They live close together, don't they? Although that would be back in Tennessee, so probably not. Trouser Chili says Mac Jones is it. Doing what he did with the weapons he didn't have, full-on quarterback controversy, and I'm on Team Mac 10, the guts this guy had. I mean, you can't help but fall in love with a quarterback when he plays a game like Mac Jones had. I totally get why people are like, I love Mac Jones now. How could you not? He battled his ass off out there.
Yeah, it's not just that he played well. It's you endear yourself to a fan base.
Yes.
When you are clearly picking yourself up off the mat, and in any other circumstance, you would be out of the game, but you're saying there is no way you're taking me out of this game, and I am going to lay it on the line for the team. Like, yeah, that goes a long way. Not that I think there's a quarterback controversy. I'm just saying in terms of endearing himself to the fan base, it goes a long way when you see somebody clearly in extreme pain to the point that he's dry heaving and still going out on the field.
Lettuce49 says Upton Stout is for real. Keaton Badger, new YouTube channel member. Yeah, you get a fist pump. Sala truly has brought faith back to the defense, says Lettuce49. I agree. I feel like good things are going to
He's brought the bang back to the defense.
They got some guys that are literally all gas, no brakes. How about this comment? Mac Jones on Kyle Shanahan, upset about the increased odds against the 49ers. Quote, Kyle came up to me and was ticked about that, saying, I can't believe they moved us as underdogs more. I said, I don't know what that means, but let's kill them. So first of all, that's hilarious that Mac Jones doesn't know what the underdog mean. But remember I talked about how I wanted Kyle Shanahan to play up the us against the world narrative. I talked about that on Wednesday, how I wished he would do that. And he typically doesn't do that kind of stuff. That's what he's doing to Mac Jones there. By talking about the underdog thing, he's trying to play on that emotional thing. Now, maybe it fell flat because apparently Mac Jones doesn't know how gambling odds work, but maybe that's a little evolution from Kyle Shanahan too. Starting to acknowledge the emotional side of the game a little bit. I like that.
Yeah, and for full clarity, he's not saying just that they're underdogs. Like, Mac's not saying he doesn't know what an underdog means. Kyle is saying they moved us as underdogs more, meaning the betting line moved.
Right.
And they made the Niners even more of an underdog on the betting, and they did it because Purdy was out. I mean, obviously Pearsall and Jennings played more, but I think that's what Kyle is trying to, you're right in that he is trying to motivate Mac by saying they're moving the line because you're starting. I can't believe, and trying to build him up.
Either that or maybe he liked the old number and didn't get his bet in on time. And he's just mad because they changed the number. Niner Street, new YouTube channel member. Thank you so much. Keaton Badger says, Upton Stout rookie mistakes on display. See, that's funny because that's the Upton Stout experience. Lettuce49 said, Upton Stout's for real. Keaton Badger said, rookie mistakes on display. And guess what? They're both right.
Hey, I mean, he draws tough matchups. He's playing in the slot. That is, to me, an extremely difficult, if not the hardest position to play as a DB in the NFL today. Because a lot of your really good wide receivers line up in the slot a lot. And on top of it, you're getting caught in the wash. You're getting lit up by people coming across. In the run game, you're getting defensive linemen hitting you right away. Like it's an extremely tough position to play. Personally, like, yeah, he has had some plays happen on him. I get it. But what I've seen so far, I see why he's out there. And I think he's had a very good start to being a rookie at a very tough position.
He is going through it. And like we always talk about, you're never going to avoid rookie mistakes. They have to happen. It's inevitable because if you sit the guy on the bench, you're just delaying when those happen. He's experiencing some of them, and the 49ers are 4-1 right now. That is the best possible combination. Well, not the best possible. I guess they could be 5-0, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they're still winning games while he's going through that. That's massive. Nees says stoked for the win, but how many times can they can they run a pick with Devontae Adams for Williams? It's trips all over again from last year. The Rams are really good at getting their best guys open. They are. I mean, Puka Nacua is catching 1,000 passes per game. Yeah. They only had 5 combined catches at halftime. Then Devontae Adams ended up getting 5 catches in the game for 88. Puka goes 10 for 85. Sean McVay is good at getting those guys open.
Yeah, I mean, they've run pretty much the same thing. They're going to run the wide receiver underneath.
Yep.
And they're going to have another wide receiver running a clearing route in the exact spot where the DB trying to cover the underneath can't get there because he has to go through the other wide receiver.
Yes.
It's a pick by design, but it's a pick that's legal most of the time. But that's also why Puka only had 85 yards because all of his catches, except for one, were underneath 4 yards down the field. And then it's what can you get me after? Now, I said most of the picks were legal because I do think there was 1 or 2 there with Devontae Adams that were not legal.
A couple of them, yeah, he probably got away with.
One of them was a touchdown.
That play was, I don't know how you stop that pass. Is so fast. Like, there's no way to stop that. But they did get it. They did not call a penalty, and the Rams scored on the play. Frank Garcia, thank you for the super chat, says Mac with a fully healthy offense is extremely intriguing. Guess what, Frank? You're never going to see that. The football will never let the 49ers have a fully healthy offense. It's just not going to happen this year. David Lombardi with an interesting tweet. I've never seen Fred Warner so fired up in a post-game locker room. Now, maybe David's exaggerating this because, like, they went to the Super Bowl. So, you know, I would imagine he's probably more pumped up, but maybe not. David was there. I'm not. So Fred Warner was obviously really excited. David said, fair to say the 4th down stuff was one of the most meaningful plays of his career. I'm sure Fred talked after the game because they make the poor guy talk after every game. So we'll probably hear him say that.
I'm going to throw up a comment here because I want to address it. Game plan is saying Kyle Posey, per Next Gen Stats, Christian McCaffrey forced 12 missed tackles tonight. That's the most forced missed tackles McCaffrey's had in a game since joining the 49ers. If you're trying to say that means he's not running the ball poorly, I think you're very much mistaken because Christian McCaffrey in the open field on his pass plays, yeah, he was making one guy miss every single time he caught the ball. He's still really good in the open field. I think his problem running the ball right now is he's not seeing the holes, and he's definitely not seeing the ability to bounce it outside. At least that's what I saw tonight. It does not. He had so many open field opportunities from the pass game. All those missed tackles did not come on rushing plays.
I will definitely keep an eye on that when I rewatch the game tomorrow. For sure. I absolutely will. Because I can't say right now. And honestly, like, a lot of the game has become a blur to me because I'm just so excited about this. How about people shouting out Benali in the chat? Caleb Williams. Benali has the best perspective I've seen in the chat.
Hats off to Benali because, one, she's corrected me a couple times, which...
Oh, so you're taking the correction, but you're not pointing out that she's correcting you?
No, she's the one that pointed out Mac Jones signed a 2-year contract like 3 or 4 weeks ago on our show. You know, she corrected me. So, like, yeah, I see her comments sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, she's making good points. And there's been a couple times that she's corrected us at other things, and it's like, oh, yeah, she's right.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times when I hear your comments and I read hers and think, why isn't she co-hosting the show with me?
I mean, you're the boss, so it stops at the buck stops with you. So make your move.
Kyle talked about the decision at the end of regulation to run the ball. He said, yeah, it was tough. I definitely wanted to throw it and end it. But when they had 3 timeouts and us on the -1, I really thought that if we made them use their timeout, the worst case scenario, we were playing in overtime. I worried with the way Stafford and their offense was looking the time before that. 1, if you get a holding or something like that, we did the week before, that would have been bad. And 2, if we gave them the ball with 1 timeout, I was afraid they'd get a touchdown. So I thought that would at least ensure overtime. To me, that's just a lot of Kyle trying to avoid bad, right? Trying to be, what if we don't get it? Let me avoid the worst case scenario. What if you get it, Kyle? Then the game is over. Like, why do you just assume you're going to fail? I don't know if I agree with thinking there.
This is the thing. Okay, instruct your guys absolutely under no circumstances hold. If they get through and they get the tackle and it's a safety, we can live with that.
That's
just
right.
Don't hold. Because this entire play, there is no scanning for Mac Jones. It is, we're doing play action, and he's throwing it deep 40 yards down the field to somebody on a moon ball. And that's what it is. And if it doesn't work, we'll punt. And if it gets intercepted, it was a punt anyways. And if we get sacked in the end zone, a safety isn't the end of the world in this scenario.
I would
agree. That I would say. But the giving the ball with 1 timeout, yeah, they would have potentially had 1 more play that they could have realistically run over the middle because of that. But they still have to get the play that gets in the end zone. Like, it saved them 5 seconds and 1 extra play by making them use that timeout they didn't have.
But also, like, they only end up with 1 timeout if you throw incomplete, right? Throw a screen, throw something short.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they would have had one. They would have had 1 more opportunity. Like when they had the ball, I think it was like 25 seconds, and they had to do a spike. Or no, 17 seconds. They had to do a spike, and it went to 12 seconds. They could have potentially called a timeout, and then they would have had an extra try at the end zone where they would have had enough time left on the clock that if they get the completion and they don't get in the end zone, they can still get up there and spike it.
Sean McVay said he didn't consider kicking a field goal on 4th down in overtime. I kind of get that. Like, you're like, dude, it's a short week. Like, we got to get the hell out of here one way or the other.
Well, it's also like, if they kick that field goal, it's tied. The Niners get the ball, and they're probably the only ones that are going to, like, the Rams were probably not going to get another shot at it.
Right. Yeah. The Niners could just use the rest of overtime and maybe kick a field goal or whatever. Astro with the comment of the night. Forget the Avengers. Mac proved he can win with the Suicide Squad. Well done, Astro. If you're a comic book fan, you know that's an excellent comment.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheeky, too, because that's been the thing that people like to say, oh, Purdy has the Avengers. So it's a double whammy there.
Nicholas Parra says, yeah, man, we won the game and Kyle coached his ass off. Let's give him credit. He wasn't perfect, but really damn good. Yeah, like, we're all frustrated he didn't win the Super Bowl. Of course we are. And I get all of that. But we got to acknowledge, like, this was incredible what they did tonight. On the road, short week, everybody hurt against a division rival, and you drop 407 total yards on 83 plays. You stun them in their own stadium. And now it's such a massive swing from 4-1 to 3-2. It's massive. Yeah. It's only 1 game, but it feels way bigger than that.
They had 6 scoring drives with a backup quarterback. Their at best 4th string wide receiver, because Watkins might have been number 4 over Robinson.
Yeah.
And a 6th string wide receiver, I guess, but Bourne wouldn't be on this team if all the wide receivers were healthy at the start of the season. So right. Bourne's not even really the number 6. So like you literally won a game with your all-pro tight end out, who is a great receiving tight end, maybe the best in the league now at this point. You had your top 3 wide receivers all hurt, and a backup quarterback. Like, you had 6 scoring drives with all of that being lost on offense.
And your backup quarterback is beat to hell, too. He's not even fully healthy.
Yeah.
That's part of it. First game all year where the Niners were outscored in the 4th quarter. They were outscored 9-3 in the 4th. They were actually outscored in the second half 9-16. But they still, I mean, when you're up 17-7 in the first half, you can live with that, obviously. But the Niners closed it out, man. They closed it out again defensively. It is beautiful. In 4 of their wins, the defense has closed it out in 3 of them. Chris Waddell says, this performance gave me old Steve Young vibes late in his career, being banged up and pulling himself off the turf and dragging himself to the huddle. I mean, it was a fabulous performance by Mac Jones. I think Lenore said, and Chase Lucas said after the game, they're going to buy Mac Jones jerseys, which is like, that is the kind of win that endears you to a locker room in a big way.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Mac has won that locker room. I'm not saying he's won it and taken it from Purdy. I'm just saying, I think that locker room has 2 quarterbacks now that they look at and they believe, yeah, we can win with that guy.
And, not to go back to the Shanahan thing, but like, it's a lot of teams that are starting backup quarterback. Let's see how the Ravens do this week without Lamar Jackson. Like, let's see if they put up 400 total yards of offense. They're not going to be.
We've seen what Cincy does with a backup quarterback.
Right? Like, just watch what happens. It's not as easy as Kyle Shanahan made it look. I can't wait to rewatch this game. I can't wait to. Oh, McVay said on the 4th down call, quote, "It was a bad call. It was a bad call by me." Yes, it was, Sean McVay. Just say it out loud. We took the ball out of Matt Stafford's hands when he was carving the 49ers up in the second half, and we gave it to a running back. What? What? We didn't kick the field goal. We're going to go for the win. We're going to take it out of our best player's hands. Make it make sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's more than just that. They have the most unstoppable wide receiver in the league right now.
Yeah.
Who had 10 catches in the game. They were not getting stopped in the second half. They have a great quarterback. And oh, by the way, the Niners have 0 pass rush to speak of.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, you can pass the ball and you're going to give Matt Stafford 4 seconds to find either Devontae Adams, who had a great second half because he only had 1 catch at halftime. I think he finished with 86 yards. Or the best wide receiver in football right now in Puka Nacua, or just anybody that's open. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the pass rush was so bad that even if you didn't have all those great players to throw to, and you didn't have the best, one of the best quarterbacks in Stafford, you still you're dropping back and getting 4 seconds to find somebody.
He was definitely had some of those throws. It was wild how much time he had. And Benali does say this too. In fairness to Brock, he put up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns with none of his guys in LA too. And he didn't have the defense to make the stop when the ball was in Stafford's hands at the end. That's true. Like, that is a thing that happened. Now, Jennings was there in that game. Jennings had a monster game. I think he had all 3 of the touchdowns in that game. But, like we said, that's why, like, I don't want to get into the quarterback controversy thing, because we got 2 quarterbacks that this team can win with. That's the important thing. That's the thing we should be focusing on. And that's the thing we should be celebrating tonight. We'll see what happens over the next 10 days. I think it's going to be very, very interesting, Levin. I think the rest of this season just got very, very interesting.
I think listening to sports talk for the next 2 days got very interesting.
Yep. Let's hear it tomorrow. You know what it's going to be? No, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be Nick Wright saying, see, Brock Purdy sucks. Mac Jones is really good. They shouldn't have paid Brock Purdy. And no one's going to talk about Kyle Shanahan absolutely being in his bag.
Yeah, it's going to be the Mac Jones and should they keep him? They got 3 wins with him.
Yep. Oh, he shouldn't be the starter. That's the lazy way to go. But hopefully the smarter people, I think Mina Kimes, hopefully, I'm depending on you, Mina, and some other people will give Kyle his flowers because he absolutely deserves it. You know who else deserves it? Everybody in the chat, everybody watching. There's over 2,100 people watching. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody's support. You guys are awesome. It's so much fun when the Niners win, but it's so much more fun because we get to share it with you. I love running down here and I'm throwing on the live right after the game. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell your other friends that don't even care about football to subscribe. We'll take them. There's plenty of room under the tent. And most of all, thank you, Levin, for hopping in 2 days in a row. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for giving me a microphone and letting me talk my talk, because nobody else listens to me.
Some days, well, I wonder how I do it, but I'm a professional. So enjoy this win, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy a nice Sunday where you could just watch as a fan. We'll talk tomorrow.